much. Let's get some more on all of this. Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu of California is joining us. He's a member of both the Judiciary and the Foreign Affairs Committees. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.
So President Trump's longtime secretary, Rona Graff, has been interviewed by the House Intelligence Committee. She was his gatekeeper, as you know. Some called her his Rolodex. How useful could her testimony be to investigators?
Well, let me first say happy holidays to you and to your viewers. In regards to your question, I'm pleased that the House Intelligence Committee is continuing to do interviews. I think it would be tragic if Speaker Ryan shut down the committee, and I think they're going to look pretty silly because I can guarantee you the Senate committees and Special Counsel Mueller's going to keep on going. They're going to keep revealing additional evidence, additional facts. So I really hope that the House Committee on Intelligence does not shut down. Yeah, there's a lot of concern, including Adam Schiff, your California colleague, who's the ranking Democrat on that committee, because nothing so far is scheduled for next year. They're wrapping things up right now. Let's see what happens on that front. Does your committee, Congressman, the Judiciary Committee, want to interview Rona Graff as well? I would be happy to interview her. I do know that we did have a confidential interview of Andrew McCabe yesterday with the FBI. And I would be happy if he came back in an open public hearing, because I think America would like to know what he said.
Because CNN has learned that Andrew McCabe, the deputy director of the FBI, is one of the people who were briefed contemporaneously by the fired FBI director, James Comey, after his conversations with President Trump. You're on that Judiciary Committee, and as you correctly point out, McCabe appeared there this week. He appeared before other committees behind closed doors as well. You believe McCabe could corroborate Comey's account?
So I don't want to comment on what he said because it was a confidential testimony hearing, but I would be happy if the Republicans called him back to an open hearing. I think America would like to know what he said.
How do you see all of the attacks on McCabe? Because there's some concern that there's a push to get rid of him by some Republicans.
As a former prosecutor, I have to say it's disgraceful. Their attacks by the Republicans on law enforcement, on FBI agents, on prosecutors. So publicly, they've attacked him because his wife engaged in political contributions. So let me just say, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, gave over $39,000 exclusively to Republicans, and I trust Director Wray to do the right thing, to act impartially, because it's offensive demeaning to say that if you're an FBI agent, you somehow can't do your job just because you exercise your First Amendment right to make political contributions. It's even a farther stretch to say that your spouse engaged in certain conduct regarding political contributions, and somehow that affects your bias.
His wife was running for state office in Virginia and received a lot of contributions from the Virginia governor, Democrat Terry McAuliffe's PAC in Virginia. That's the accusation against the deputy director, Andrew McCabe. But does he also have to answer for some of those anti-Trump text messages that were sent by two FBI agents, and both of those agents, their responsibilities have changed as a result? They've been dropped from the Mueller probe.
So he did not send those text messages, and when Robert Mueller found out about those text messages, he removed the FBI agent that sent those messages. And keep in mind, Robert Mueller is a Republican appointed previously by a Republican president, and Special Counsel Mueller did absolutely the right thing by removing that agent. And we need the special counsel investigation continue forward. And when you see all these attacks to smear Mueller's team, my question is, what are people afraid of?
Well, what do you think they're afraid of?
Yeah. So when Special Counsel Mueller was appointed, Republicans praised him, Republicans like Newt Gingrich and others. Now they're attacking him, and the only thing that's changed is 2 guilty pleas plus 2 additional indictments. So they're afraid, I think, of facts and evidence that Mueller is uncovering, and that is not a good justification to try to smear his team.
Are there outstanding questions, Congressman, about the handling of the Clinton email investigation, or are those questions a distraction from the current Russia probe?
I believe it's a distraction, and last time I checked, Hillary Clinton is not president. Donald Trump is president. Our intelligence communities and agencies assess that Russia attacked America last year in the cyber world. They did an influence campaign to undermine democracy and help Donald Trump get elected.
How much was the Hillary Clinton email investigation a focus of the interview with the Deputy Director of the FBI, McCabe?
Again, I don't want to comment on his testimony, but I'm just going to say again, I think if he testified openly and publicly, that Americans would be interested to know what he said.
Well, explain that, if you can elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. He would give you immense confidence in the FBI. And by the way, I want to thank the FBI today for thwarting a terrorist attack on Pier 39 in California. The FBI is one of our nation's preeminent law enforcement agencies, and it is a disservice for Republicans and allies of the president to attack the credibility of the 37,000 people of the FBI.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot more on that breaking story later here in the Situation Room as well. Congressman, stand by. There are more developments unfolding right now. We'll take a quick break. We'll resume the interview right after this.
Okay.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer is brought to you by IB.